We're going to be talking about our Herbalist Favorites Set. So this is a single herb set that really does cover all the basics, and we're going to be talking about all 6 of these single herbs today. So let's get started. Welcome. So for today's agenda, I'm just going to, again, our little introduction here of myself and our moderator that we have with us. We're going to have our presentation about our Herbalist Favorite Sets, and then also how to make some do-it-yourself blends out of these sets so that you can really utilize these sets this set to its fullest potential, and some recipe ideas. And then we'll open up to some questions and comments, and of course, closing remarks, which will include a discount code for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys joining in. So I just wanted to start out by introducing myself. My name is Taylor. I'm a clinical herbalist here at Apothecary. I'm also a registered herbalist with the American Herbalist Guild. I'm also pursuing a master's degree in clinical nutrition, and I'm just truly passionate about bridging our medicine and spice cabinets together and really utilizing foods as plants and foods as functional medicines and functional foods that really support our health and in so many ways. So that's just a little bit about me. We also have Michaela here with us. I wanted to introduce her quickly. She'll be in the chat box answering all of your questions as we go, and comments during the presentation, and we'll get to those at the end as well. And before we get started, I did want to mention that for this is more just the question and answer session will be at the end, and we also can't unfortunately address any specific medical concerns. So if you do have specific health questions that maybe pertain to these blends about medications or a health journey that you're on and how these might support you best, I definitely suggest booking a consult with myself. You can find the link on the consult page over on our website, or Michaela will pop the link right in the chat box for you as well if you want to check out those offerings. We also offer a complimentary 15-minute phone call if you just want to chat through one of our products. That is just strictly for product questions, dosing, things about that. So, great, that's a little bit about us. So let's dive right in here. So with the Herbalist Favorite Set, I wanted to go over what was included. So I'm going to give a brief monograph of each herb, some modern uses and studies that are relevant. And then I'll talk a little bit about the taste profile and in general, how to use the herb in your everyday routine. I'll even show you some DIY blends at the end that you can make using these 6 herbs, 2 different blends that you can make using these. And then I also wanted to mention that each of these herbs are also available as singles outside of this set. So if one of these resonates with you and you want to use it to top off your blend that you already have, or you just want to add it into your supplement routine, by all means, you can also buy them individually. We just wanted to showcase really the versatility of having this in your toolbox at home. So in this set, as I said, there's 6 herbs that are going to be in here. We're going to be talking about Ashwagandha, Maca, lion's mane, Moringa, Triphala, and Schisandra. So this set in general was also formulated to help support sleep quality, stress response, immune function, skin and hair quality because of the nutritive properties of these herbs, cognitive performance, and so much more. And I'll get into that as we highlight each herb individually. So first up is Ashwagandha. So with ashwagandha is one of the most powerful foods in Ayurvedic healing. It's been used since ancient times for a wide variety of conditions. It's most well known for its use in restorative health benefits, being it restores the body's vitality. And a lot of people associate ashwagandha, with being sedative or sleepy time herb. But actually, in reality, it's really not a sleepy herb. But what it does is it helps our bodies be more resilient to stress and helps our nervous system be more nourished so that we can relax more efficiently when we do need to go to sleep. So taking it consistently over time will help to give you that effect. The root is also a potent antioxidant, and traditionally it was used, as I said, a rejuvenator for the entire body. So to reset the body and to bring you back into balance. So more modernly, studies have found it can help modulate inflammation. It supports healthy sleep cycles, promotes relaxation throughout the body and the mind, things like circular thoughts, trouble getting the mind quiet at night, especially. It can also help increase feelings of stable energy throughout the day when taken consistently over time. So again, the key with a lot of adaptogens, or all adaptogens, I should say, is consistency. So taking your herbs over time every day. It is indicated mostly for those that are experiencing physical or mental exhaustion. So if you're recovering from an illness and the body needs that extra support to help build up resilience to stress when it does arise, and that could be in a physical sickness form or it can be in a mental exhaustion form. So the taste of this herb, like I said, it's a root, so it's going to have that slightly earthy, nutty flavor. It has a little bit of a bitter undertone, but really just a savory, kind of nice astringent tone to it. I love to use it more in lattes, warm drinks. Drinking it before bed is super nourishing, but by all means, you can use it throughout the day. You can also use it to top off your coffee, your teas, your oatmeal, baked goods, really a whole slew of recipes you can utilize with ashwagandha. Being that it's a root, it could really stand up to cooking in the kitchen. So next, we're going to be talking about maca. This is another root that, again, loves to be cooked into baked goods and all of those delicious things because it is such a nutritive, adaptogenic herb. So again, this is an adaptogenic root that comes from the Andes Mountains in Peru. It was traditionally used actually as a food. So like I said, I really like to bridge, our medicine cabinet and our kitchen cabinet. Well, this is right in our refrigerator. It's actually in the same family as broccoli. So as you can imagine, it shares a ton of the same nutritive benefits as well. There's also a variety of other herbal actions that it can also support with, like our mood, increasing our libido, normal hormone levels, help to normalize our high blood pressure levels. And there's also research that has found it's also an anti-inflammatory herb. Research has also supported its use to help boost and stabilize energy throughout the day. So giving you that endurance throughout the day instead of those peaks and valleys of energy. And it's also incredibly supportive for both male and female bodies, especially those in need of hormone support. Maybe you're older and moving through changes of life. Things like libido start to diminish, things for perimenopause and menopausal symptoms. So this could definitely be nourishing to all types of bodies. The taste profile on maca, it's a root vegetable again, so it's going to have kind of that nutty, earthy flavor. It is a bit creamier than ashwagandha. It pairs deliciously with chocolate. So I love to make homemade chocolates with maca, kind of as like a little pick-me-up, but then also a really nice treat to share with a loved one, being that it's also mood boosting as well. So next, we're going to be talking about our lion's mane mushroom. So this is the only mushroom that is in this set here. So lion's mane mushroom is a large, white, shaggy mushroom, as you can see in the picture there. Kind of looks like a lion's mane, and it's known actually as the smart mushroom. So lion's mane is really the ideal choice for people seeking cognitive support, memory, mood support, focus, clarity, those types of things. It is long renowned for supporting the nervous system, and there's tons of studies indicating how lion's mane can actually increase our nerve growth factor, which is basically our ability for our body to repair our brain and create new nerve endings so that we can recover from things like memory loss and support different chronic illnesses like dementia and Alzheimer's. So this is very supportive for those moving with any type of cognitive decline, or if you just want to get on your game and be sharp every single day, this is a great one to add to your coffee in the morning, and just to get your mind focused and ready to start the day. Studies also suggest that it can reduce inflammation and biological markers, as I said, of Alzheimer's. It can also improve cognition, again, regrowing our nerves and our brain. There's also tons of just research, rich research about it being so supportive around those cognitive decline diseases. There's also studies around stomach ulcer protection and reducing the growth of harmful bacteria such as H. pylori, which can be very, it can cause a lot of dysbiosis in our gut and a lot of gastrointestinal symptoms we just really don't want, like gas and bloating. And it's a really easy thing to pick up something like having an H. pylori overgrowth. So using this has been found to reduce that inflammation and help bring back optimal gut microbiome health. So the flavor of this mushroom, it's actually very unique. It has a slightly savory flavor to it. I like to use this one more in soups and curries and stir fries, sprinkle it on vegetables. I add it into my spice mixes that I make. And I love to rub that on different veggies and different meat and fishes. I do love the savory quality of this herb, but also it is very easy to add into things like coffee or creamy milk lattes, and that very much makes the flavor just, it blends very, very well because it also has this creamy property to it as well. And again, the nutrition of this mushroom provides plenty of potassium and iron, and also other vitamins as well. So next in our set that we are going to be talking about is Moringa. So this is one of my personal favorites, being that it's just such a nutritive herb and being a nutrition nerd myself. I just happen to always be topping food off with Moringa. So Moringa is a tree that actually grows in Africa and other warm deserted places in the Middle East. And it provides just an enormous amount of nutrition. The dried leaf actually contains about 15 times the amount of potassium in a banana, and about 10 times the amount of vitamin A in a carrot, and about 9 times the protein of yogurt. So it has a really nice amino acid profile as well. And it has about 17 times the calcium found in milk. So really the nutrition is hard to argue here for this one. I absolutely love adding this on top of soups, stir fries, savory additions, because it does have that earthy, kind of like green tea-like flavor. I wouldn't say it's bitter by any means, but it definitely just brings that little bit of earthy punch to it, kind of like you were finishing a dish with parsley. I would absolutely add some Moringa as well. So more recently, studies have shown that Moringa has a protective effect for our DNA. So those especially moving through cancer treatments like chemotherapy or radiation, or just after you've had any type of procedure done, even x-rays, those can be stressful on our body. So providing our body extra nutrition when we are going through those types of operations or those types of procedures can just be a great way to prevent other illnesses from arising during your healing process. There's also studies showing that it can support a process called apoptosis, which is programmed cell death of harmful cells in the body. So that's something that is a protective quality of Moringa. Moringa really provides, again, numerous vitamins and minerals to help us replenish the body after those intense treatments, after intense workouts, after things that cause stress in the body, which working out is a stressful event that is happening in the body. So we definitely want to be supporting ourselves with extra nutrition after we are working out. So this will be a great addition to post-workout smoothies, yogurt bowls, protein bars, homemade granola, you name it. Again, the flavor profile, it's slightly bitter, but with that earthy, mild flavor, you can easily add it to your dishes, soups, stews, add it to your own dishes, curries. I like to sprinkle it on eggs and toast in the morning on my avocado toast. It's a great addition. So next, we are going to be speaking about Triphala. So this is actually the only blend in this set that is actually made of 3 different berries. But Triphala is actually by far one of the most important herbal formulas in Ayurvedic medicine. It has been credited as also being one of the oldest herbal formulas in continuous use. So it's really specific. These 3 berries were chosen because they create an effect that is really balancing to all types of bodies, which is a very important principle in Ayurvedic medicine, making sure that our formulas can be helpful for each type of person. So studies show that the polyphenols in Triphala can help modulate the gut microbiome. It helps promote the growth of beneficial bacteria such as bifidobacteria and lactobacillus strains, while also inhibiting the growth of undesirable gut microbiome, the gut microbes that can cause dysbiosis, which can cause gas and bloating and other gastrointestinal unpleasant symptoms. So it's definitely indicated for those moving with indigestion, reflux, those types of consistent burping, regurgitating, those types of things, and bloating, especially the upper abdomen. This could definitely be a powerful support for you. I specifically would utilize this a little bit differently than the rest of the blends, whereas the rest of the blends, I would say liberally use them in your foods as you're cooking all the things. This is one specifically I like to use for, acute and preventative digestive support. So my favorite way is to actually make this into a tea and to sip on it before a meal that I know is going to be a little bit heavier. Maybe it's a restaurant that you're not used to going out that often, and you're going to have a nice, delicious, rich meal at a restaurant. Sip on this a little bit before that meal, and it will help your digestion just be more optimized when you are eating that rich food. And then also on the outside, after you have a rich meal, if you are feeling a bit of indigestion arising, bloating to start to come up, or just that you feel like you need to go to the bathroom and you need a little extra support, this is great for that as well. So you're going to make, again, a little bit of tea, put some in the bottom of a glass, add some hot water. You can add a slice of ginger, a little lemon, even some honey if you'd like, and just sipping on that slowly. And I love to prepare this warm. I think it's just very nice for promoting Agni, which is in the Ayurvedic terms is our digestive fire. So we always want to be promoting Agni in our bodies. So with warm foods and warm drinks, that's how we do that. So again, sipping this before and after meals, that's the key to utilizing your Triphala in the most efficient way. So the flavor profile of Triphala is earthy, sweet, tangy. It kind of hits all the notes because it is a tri-berry blend. But it is a great addition. You can make a sweeter drink if you wanted to add a little bit of milk to it, just to make more of like a sipping digestive aid. You can also add it to a chamomile tea would be really, really nice to add just more digestive effects to the chamomile. And it's really high in antioxidants, vitamin C, as you can guess, with the use of those berries. So this is a really great one to have on hand in your toolbox. So then the next one I wanted to speak about was our Schisandra. So Schisandra, again, is another berry. This one is not in Triphala, but this is another berry coming from regions across China and Russia. It comes from an aromatic tree, excuse me. Schisandra berry, or Wu Wei Zi, as it's known in traditional Chinese medicine, meaning the fruit of 5 tastes. Is a commonly used herb in Chinese medicine and is often described as having qi invigorating properties because it can help restore the feeling of vitality and just restoration and just energy and just feeling optimized throughout the body. So this is really helping us bring us back into balance and really nourishing our blood and our bones and our entire body, nervous system very, very deeply. So in traditional Russian medicine, it was described as a tonic for reducing hunger and fatigue, delaying the aging process, and increasing vitality and improving mental health as well. And all of that is due to its nutritive profile because it is so rich in antioxidants, vitamin C and E. All of these things are very conducive to things like our cognitive health, to our energy levels, to our cellular health throughout our entire body. So it's really no surprise that traditional uses are really across the board for this herb. And modernly, research shows that this herb may be beneficial for liver health, having protective properties against liver damage by activating liver enzymes that help to produce a powerful antioxidant called glutathione. And glutathione really is known as the king of all the antioxidants that are out there, because it really helps us repair our cells, and it aids in quicker recovery from sickness and stress. So again, it's a powerful antioxidant, kind of the king of all the antioxidants. So any way we can support that production is really going to be tremendously beneficial for anybody's health journey. So the flavor of this herb, kind of as the name suggests, it's really all over. It is sweet, it is tangy, slightly astringent, kind of reminds me of like a currant, or a less sweet currant, or a less sweet kind of like gooseberry kind of vibe. It does have that earthy undertone. But this is one that I use, again, liberally in my cooking, in my baking. I love the flavor, the tangy note that it gives to my homemade applesauces and homemade salad dressings. So really, I go wild with Schisandra berry. It's just so nutritive. You can really think of it as, you know, blueberries. It's really that type of superfood. All right, so those are the single herbs that are included in this set, but I wanted to show you how you can mix some of the herbs in this set to create your own blends, and how those can be supportive for you as well. So I'm going to go through 2 different blends that I've created utilizing a mix and match of these, and kind of how they can be used and what I would use them for in recipes. So this is my Brain Blast blend. So say that 3 times fast, Brain Blast blend. So I'm going to be using in this 1 part of each of these 3 ingredients. And the reason I did parts is because I'd love for this to be versatile, for you guys to be able to multiply this, to have your DIY blends on hand, to be able to use every single day. I would suggest making, you know, a batch of maybe 3 days worth. So that would be about a teaspoon a day. So you can do 3 times this, and then that would be for 3 days, and try that out and see how that feels for you, and then keep going from there. But really, herbs do need to be used consistently over time. We do like to say 3 weeks to give your herbs, you know, that optimal amount of window, really, of time for your body to feel the full therapeutic effects of your herbs. But this is a great place to start. So with this blend, I'm going to be utilizing ashwagandha, again, for its anti-inflammatory and adaptogenic properties, helping us be more resilient to stress, because we know when we're stressed out, we can't think straight. So that's why I have that in this blend. I also include Schisandra, because as we just talked about, Schisandra is just super nutritive. It's really great for glutathione production. So it's going to be helping with our detoxification. So getting things out of the body that could be causing brain fog, like overexposure to pesticides and herbicides and all those harmful toxins in our life, which includes stress. So Schisandra is just supportive for that, and making sure that we are going throughout our day, and so we can be clear and focused. And then, of course, our heavy hitter will be the lion's mane, and that will really give us that cognitive boost that we're looking for in this little blend here. It's going to give us that energy, that focus, that clarity. So I definitely suggest, you know, mixing these up in a little mason jar, in a little bowl. You can put them into a little baggie and keep it out on your countertop, to just remember to take it every morning. I would suggest taking this blend earlier in the day, just because it does have the lion's mane in it. And some people find that that can be just a tad bit stimulating in some ways, just because it gets your mind really focused and sharp. I love to pair this with things that like chocolate that are rich, like coffee. Hot chocolate would taste really good with this blend, just sipping on it through the day. Making some truffles. You can also make this into baked goods like granola, and have your granola out there, and just top your yogurt with your DIY Brain Blast blend granola. So yeah, so those are kind of just some options there for this DIY blend. And then the other one I came up with is more of a feeling good all day blend. So this one is really going to just make sure that you are hitting all of your nutrition, and you're also getting that little bit of energy and hormonal support that you really need every single day. Whether you're a male or female body, we can all use that additional hormonal support. So with this one, again, I put it in 1 part each. So feel free to multiply this to make yourself a small batch that you can have out on your countertop to use easily into recipes or into your drinks, or however you would like it. So for this one, I'm highlighting Maca as being, of course, our energy booster, our hormonal balancing, give us that little bit of mood lift that we need to feel good. I'm going to put in there some Moringa. So Moringa, I use liberally, as I stated earlier, throughout my day. I really just love the nutritional profile of this herb. So I suggest you do the same, but it just gives this blend also a big nutritional punch. And again, we're going to add some Schisandra berry in there because I just love the liver support that Schisandra offers, and just being so antioxidant rich and blood nourishing. It really just also provides that extra bit of nutrition that we can always use when we are working and just doing all the things we need to get done every single day. So I love this blend more in kind of like sweet, tangy preparations on top of yogurt. Again, you can make a granola, parfait kind of action, smoothie bowls, right into your morning smoothie. You can pour it over your oatmeal with some blueberries, would taste delicious. You can cook this into little cookies, morning cookies. I like to make some coconut macaroons sometimes in the morning, a little gluten-free sweet treat that I know I can feel good about. And also you can feel free to experiment into savory cooking as well. You can utilize this, you know, in so many different ways. But really the key again is consistently using your blends over time. So that's why I just wanted to give you guys a couple of options of how to mix up these 6 here into these 2 other blends that you can just keep on your counter, and you can label them, and you can kind of be your own little herbalist. And it's really nice to have that empowerment to be able to make the decision of which herbs can support you best. So I definitely invite you to start playing around, start cooking and utilizing your herbs every single day in your recipes. So again, how to use your single herbs. You know, we talked a lot about kind of the flexibility that single herbs have to offer. Really small amounts added to your cooking over time will add up. And it's really that cumulative effect that we're looking for, you know, to give us that full therapeutic potential of the herbs that we're using. So using your herbs everyday dishes that you love already, you know, not even having to dig out new recipes, because just try and integrate them into your favorite recipes that you already have. And I promise you, it's easier than it sounds. It's delicious, and you're going to feel good about giving yourself nutrition as well as anyone else that you share these blends with and your food with. So some other ideas I have up here, of course, we have some dips and curries and sauces. We'll have some more recipes out too for you guys coming soon. So make sure you're subscribed to all of our channels so you can really be in the know of when our recipes come up. I did want to touch on that, you know, if you are going to be using your herbs in liquids and in beverages, you know, herbs really love to be mixed with fats. So using even a plant-based fat in your beverages, or coconut milk or full dairy milk, whatever you choose, even an MCT oil, will just help your herbs to emulsify better and be better suspended in that, your liquid of choice. So that's just a little small trick, and you can use your frother here as a really other good trick to make sure that it's fully immersed into your liquid of choice. So any type of frother that you have on hand, and we also have frothers available in our store, of course. Like I said, we'll have so many more recipes to come for you guys, because I hear you guys loud and clear. You love the recipes. So I can't wait to dive into more of that with you guys. So before we jump in, you know, I wanted to ask any questions or you guys had about what we talked about today. I'm going to go back and see what you guys put in the chat box quickly. And any questions I don't get to, feel free to email us at hi@apothecary.co. so we can get your questions answered as soon as possible, but I'll try and get to a few here. So let's see. Would Triphala be helpful for pets? My dog belches a lot. That is such a great question, you know. So our blends are formulated for human consumption, and by all means, that's really the intention of these blends. But because they are nutritive herbs, I would, you know, invite you to do your own research on that, and really, you know, reach out to your vet and talk to them about these functional foods, because there is a lot of research out there stating how things like herbs, and specifically mushrooms now is really the big one, mushroom powders coming up for prevention for cancer in dogs and cancer in animals in general. So I would definitely explore that with your vet. I think that is a great conversation to have. And personally, as a clinical herbalist, I do think that that would be supportive for your dog. You know, I would start low and slow, like 1/8 of a teaspoon sprinkling on their food. But that is coming from me personally. Our blends, though, are formulated for human consumption. So let's see. What other questions do we have here? Would Triphala help with constipation? Yes, Triphala is one of those herbs, as I mentioned, to support our liver as well. So any herbs that are going to be supporting our liver are innately going to be supporting our detoxification pathways, which also includes bowel movements. So having regular bowel movements is one of our biggest detoxificating just abilities that our body has, and it's a huge tool. And when we're constipated and we don't have regular bowel movements, you know, at least one every day, then you are at risk of building up toxins and potentially causing dysbiosis and bloating and all the things we don't want. So regular use of Triphala, make a Triphala tea, sipping on that, you know, even while you're on the toilet, can be very, very helpful. So how much ashwagandha can I have in a day? So we tell people to start out with 1 teaspoon per sitting. You know, you can work up from there. People do take, you know, up to 2 to 3 teaspoons, and that is perfectly fine. But everybody's bodies are very individualized. Our metabolisms are unique. So I would really go low and slow and see how your body reacts to it first for a couple of weeks. And then you can go on from there. And then also I'd invite you to maybe book a consultation, you know, with myself, and maybe we can get to the root cause of why you feel like you need so much ashwagandha. Do you feel overstressed? Do you feel like your body's not responding well to stress? Those are things we can definitely talk through and strategize and find you some other herbal supports for your health journey. So does maca have caffeine? I've been afraid to add it to coffee because I don't want to be over caffeinated. Great question. So maca does not have caffeine in it per se, but it is a little bit stimulating. The reason for that is because it does affect our hormones. It does affect different body systems. So it is going to give us an uplifting, upregulating effect. But by all means, if you are someone who is sensitive to caffeine, I would not take maca after 3 p.m. Really 2 p.m. is the golden spot for me, between 2 and 3, depending on how sensitive you are, being that just because it is a bit more stimulating. But I wouldn't be worried necessarily about the over caffeination piece of that. And actually maca, adding it to coffee may actually be beneficial, you know, in regulating your stress response. Also can give you more of a mood boost, because sometimes coffee makes people irritable. So there really is a wide variety of benefits with pairing those two together. Same thing with lion's mane. I wanted to mention, a lot of people really enjoy adding lion's mane to coffee because it just gives you that extra bit of clarity and focus. But by no means is it going to over caffeinate you, but it is upregulating. So again, just being mindful of the time of day you take your herbs. Awesome. Let's see. So how much would you use in recipes? Like if you're making cookies or herbal protein balls? So normally in recipes, I like to start out with a good dose because I'm going to be looking at the serving size of that recipe, right? So if a serving size of a recipe is, say, you know, it's going to make 4 servings. Well, I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting a bit of a therapeutic dose into each serving. So if I'm going to make power balls, I do want to make sure, you know, that I got a teaspoon into each serving. So about 4 teaspoons for the power balls, if it was going to be a 4 serving recipe, and kind of just, you know, following that same rule of thumb. Generally, you want to aim between a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of your powders per serving. And that could be, you know, you make your blend. So a culmination of that blend of herbs, about a teaspoon of those per serving, not of each one individually. But, you know, experimenting is the best way. We will have some recipes already written for you. And we do have our blog that I know Michaela can put a post down there, a link to our blog for you guys for some more inspiration for your recipes. And you can print those out, keep them on hand. All right, and I'll answer a couple more here. So which is the best herb to overcome burnout? That's a great question. So because these herbs here, we have a few options actually. We have a few adaptogenic herbs here to work with. We have Maca, which is going to give us that mood lifting, that energy boosting, that hormonal balance. So that could be really great when we're talking about things like burnout that can affect our adrenal glands. And things like that. So Maca is very supportive for our adrenals. And so is ashwagandha. That is another one that is going to be giving us some resilience to stress. So taking that over time is going to help us be super resilient to stressful situations. I would suggest, you know, even blending those two together, adding the Maca, the ashwagandha, together into your coffee every single day, or latte, or herb ball, or power ball, or however you want to use it. But consistently using those is the best way to really support burnout, as well as giving your time and your body rest, right? You know, we can really throw the kitchen cabinet at it, but at the end of the day, when our bodies need to rest and reset, that's exactly what they need to do. Just turn off and reset. So I definitely invite you, you know, to do that as much as possible when experiencing burnout. And again, booking a consult with me as well, and maybe we can go over some strategies to help guide you through times when you are feeling burnout, so you don't have those effects down the line. All right, and last, let's do one more. Let's see, which one is the best for anti-inflammatory for arthritis? That's a great question. So arthritis, I'm not sure if many of you know, but it's an autoimmune condition, right? So we're going to be focusing on our immune system health, and really making sure our nutrition is optimal so our immune system can be working properly. So for this one, I would really love to use Moringa powder consistently to get our nutrition in tip-top shape, to make sure that we can fight off inflammation, to make sure that we can respond to inflammation correctly. Also, I would invite using our Schisandra berry powder, being that it is super high in antioxidants. So antioxidants, what they do is they help combat oxidative stress, and arthritis and any other type of chronic or acute condition is going to cause stress in the body. So making sure we're supporting that, as well as with Schisandra, it's going to give us that glutathione boost. So we love that, and supporting immunologic disorders or immunologic diseases, that is a great benefit to have as well. All right, thank you guys so much for your questions. And if we didn't get to your questions, again, feel free to email us at hi@apothecary.co.